view of it, to put the positive spin on it, I think it does. It for me, it offers a scaffolding for a player across all the domains of what it means to be a human being. So you can be, obviously Robbie had the talent at 14 to be seen. Someone could imagine how he might develop across the way, and they brought him over. I think there's lots of variables in that, and he probably knows people who didn't make it, who had the talent. I think that if we're the type of, we should be sending a whole person if they're going, or if they want to go. And I think we honour players when we make decisions about setting a threshold. They can, and it just means then that we benefit from them up until that point. If it's nailed on that they're going to go, then we'll still benefit up to that point. There might be people who would rather go at 16 or chomping at the bit to get over there and get stuck in. But I actually think it's a positive, and I think League of Ireland benefits for. And I actually think that I would argue with anyone that the individual benefits from the extra maturity that they get from being around.
I think the English clubs benefit too.
Good point.
I think they really do. I think they're finding that the way I looked at it when we went over, it was like, if you
what age did you go over?
15.
Yeah, that's
15.
so young, isn't it?
But you have to remember, it was back in the day that if you said no, you didn't get offered again.
Yeah.
You know, you had to go. And you were...
And you put up in digs and...
You put up in digs, lived in a dig for a year, and then lived in a hotel for 2 years.
Wow.
And got home every 10 weeks or something, like 6 weeks. Like, it was weird. No mobile
homeschooling or?
Yeah, 1 day a week.
Wow.
No mobile phones, no video, no video first, no internet, whatever. But it was weird. But I think looking at the benefit now, you have to realise if a player's good enough at 16, he's going to be playing in the League of Ireland team. He's going to be getting more games.
Yeah.
He's getting more experience. He's up against more physicality, older people. He's developing more. He's been educated more. He's coming on. And then when he's going over to England, he has that bit about him that he's able to hold his own in the team instead of going over and being thrown in at the deep end. You're going, because when I found the minis, you could be a big fish in a big pond over here. The minute you go over there, it's a conveyor belt of talent. So if you're progressing here, you're playing, I think it will only... Instead
of being put on loan to a lower league
100%.
team.
My prime example, look at Shawnee Williams was in my team in Sporting Fingal, and he played, held out, he had chances to go, Then he made a decision, I think at 20-something, to go out to Millwall, progressed, and he had a great career. So I think it does benefit you, but then as I said, you have to fear that you have to be mature enough to, if you're going to go 15, you have to be mature enough to go. And I just
does that keep you open to? Sorry to cut across. Does that keep you open to go to Spain, France? Is it just the UK because of Brexit type thing?
I think that's why you're seeing more League of Ireland players now going to the likes of Italy, France, and making a way. Or they're going over there and they're getting put in. They're playing in a year or two. They're back in the Premiership. I think the pathway is open to anyone if they're playing and if they're good enough. But there's a big call that I think they're getting great education while playing here as long as
100%, yeah.
As long as they can. And they're around loved ones. Do you know what I mean? They're not...
That pressure's taken off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they have that support base at home that if there is something wrong, they can go home, get the arm put around them, where if you're away at a young age, a phone's only a phone. The physicality of someone being there.
My cousin, I doubt he'll mind me chatting about him. John Lester, did you ever play?
I know Lester, he was on my Irish team,
and he went to Everton, and he always spoke to us. Yeah, what a player, brilliant. Quite similar to yourself, like big, strong midfielders. And being Irish, being in the digs at Everton, it was tough at 15 back then. So the whole thing about keeping them here till 18, there's huge positives to that. Also makes the league of higher quality.
I agree,
because you can really back that winger that's starting to rip up the league, or the striker, defender, and go, right, let's see him progress.
We used to always have chats, even with Leicester, that Irish team that I was on with Brian Kerr, 15s, 16s, 18s. It was like Leicester, myself, Andy Reid, loads, like, it was amazing, and they'd all have the same stories, going, jeez man, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough away from home, it's tough away from home, because it was a different era. Different time, but I think there's a great benefit. If you see the likes of your man who went to the French league, he's now
with Everton.
They got Everton.
The centre half is
it? Papa came on for the Irish team. Nazy set up the goal. It's great to see, and it's not just England. They're going to the likes of these big clubs in Spain, Italy, and everything. So I think that's the benefit of being here.
Yeah, big time. So you're at Diggs, and you're at it, just to stay on your career, when you progress at Blackburn.
Yeah.
What kind of level did you get? Were you playing Prem? Were you?
No, yeah, I was doing the Prem. So you have to remember, we went over, didn't get into the first team or anything like that. So before you went over,
Who was your coach at the time? Or
went through Triga, we went through Brian Kidd, went through Souness, but I was there with Rob Kelly in the youth team, so a couple of years there. But I had a year and a half left on my contract, and I was fortunate enough. I had a great background with my family. They were brilliant. It was always a great shoulder to lean on, and I could see my way. Like, I'm here. I wasn't playing first 2 years, playing, scoring. Then it kind of just, you see, they come in, they're buying other strikers. Even at that age, they're buying strikers like 16, 17. You're going, hold on.
This is my territory.
This is a territory here. So I was like, listen, I want to go. But they didn't let us go. They said, no, we have a place for you. They wouldn't let us go. And I was playing with the Irish team at the time, still getting picked. Until the stage where it came so much that where the teams had then lost interest, and they just said, right, you can go now. Like, you know, it's still a very business world, no matter what age you are, where you are. And then I came back, and had a pretty better career, restarted my career when I came back here to leave, because you kind of got that reason
to
why
play football
you play
again,
football.
yeah.
And if you're honest with yourself, the minute you went over there, you thought you kind of made it, so you needed to kick up the hole.
I was going to ask about
100%,
that. Yeah.
100%. You think probably I'm here.
You've signed a youth contract.
Do all the values that got you there in the first place went out the window. Does the hard work still there when stuff's going wrong? Did you really put it in? The answer is probably no, because then you would have got it. So you have to be honest to yourself. Did you earn the right to be there? You earned the right to be there, but did you earn the right to stay there? Probably no.
Why do you think that?
Probably because if something went against, and now it's
obviously you're young as well.
It's both sides of it. You're also watching that I deserve to be here, and you're not getting a chance. So a lot of it is face fits. A lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is
even more luck.
More luck. You know what I mean? I always the great case is Jonathan Douglas, great friend of mine, and it's the best case I'll ever give. Is that he's been told your contract's going up, 6 months left. You're gone, no interest in you. And he gets to go down on a trip. Back then, but the young players had to look after the first team bus, make them tea, make them this. Dougie travels, long story short, travels down. Whatever happens on that bus, someone gets injured. Then out on the pitch. Dougie goes on the bench. Dougie ends up coming on 5 minutes. Doesn't touch the ball. 2 foot tackle Stuart Pearce in the groin around his thing. Walks back into Souness's office 3 days later and gets a 3-year contract.
For 2 foot and Spears.
Because Souness says this lad has something about him.
Yeah. If you're gonna do that, yeah.
Dougie goes on to Leeds.
No way.
Bournemouth. I then watch him come out playing against in the Pro Park for his Irish debut, and it's so good to watch. All because right time, right place.
Right time, right place.
But there's a guy who deserved it as well because he was a great pro. So
of course, yeah.
You know.
So if you ever have a chance at 2 foot Stuart
he does. He 2 foot me every time. I remember Daisy 2 foot of me up there and walking.
Hoping there's a scout at the game.
Walking football. I was like, what's going on? I haven't been up since.
The reputation went up so good that day.
Talk to me about the walking football side of things. So obviously we help out at Match Hero. There's an option to set up your walking football game, so we're going to try to promote that. Yeah,
and I save a lot of scrolling through WhatsApp messages if you could be sitting in an app, smoothly transitioning from the banter stuff, but into the
just get it going.
Who's going to be there and who's going to be available. Walking football, again, it sits within the model of football and social responsibility as an option to consider. It's huge across Europe. I think Ireland is late to the party in many ways. The idea of it is, for me, it ticks so many boxes in terms of you have guys, we all, I'm sure now, particularly blokes in our lives who are 60, 70, 80 plus, lived for football, maybe played it to a high level, stopped playing it, felt like they could never play it again. Maybe we all kind of transition into 5-a-side or transition into over 35 or whatever. There's a cut-off point for most people where they just, there's no game available anymore. Walking football now sits in the landscape of football. It's got its own set of rules. You cannot run, you cannot tackle. The ball has to be below
that
shoulder
must
height.
be infuriating. If
I just have to say this. It's absolutely full on competitive. Like
Brilliant.
These guys are. I actually think I love it. Sorry for it, but it's brilliant to watch. Me, Daisy, I haven't been there now in a good few months with stuff that's going on.
I'd say it's so tactical, like chess-wise, but you can't be overlapping.
I think it's just they want to be accepted, they want to be appreciated, and it does. The love for the game doesn't go. So
well, yeah, and because you need to have a touch.
Yeah.
You need to be able to pick out a pass. You need to be able to know what to do next. You need to be able to score. In order to win games, you have to score goals.
You need to be able to kick to some people, kicking some people.
So, the adjustment in terms of not tackling, not stamping,
Daisy
not elbowing.
Jesus, a chopper I call it.
But and the other side of it, as you said, Rob, like there's, and again, I think the lads wouldn't mind us saying it about them. There's guys that have come in. We have about 30 guys now in a group that are Bray Wanderers. So our football club has a walking football team. And again, that's something that we say with pride, that they wear our jersey to blitzes, to competitions. There was an FAI blitz recently in the National Indoor Arena, and they wear the kit. They represent the club. But we would have guys, and we did this for a couple of months, and then we were doing interviews with them saying, well, why did you come? Why did you stay? And what would you say to someone who hasn't come and is wondering about it? And there was guys saying, like I hadn't had a ball at my feet for 20 years. And just the chance to have a ball at my feet, to be on I remember you talking to them about it, Rob, that to put on, I haven't wore a set of boots. To put on a kit, come out. I haven't done stretches in 20 years. That was a barrier to overcome.
Even the likes of Vinnie Kerwin putting on the jersey, you could see him getting emotional. And like he goes, it might be walking football to them, but
it's such pride.
I'm putting the jersey of a team I'm obsessed with and we've poured it on for years.
That's
and
great.
I'm putting on that in the match, and like to him that was that's everything.
Yeah,
and that's,
you can feel
that's
that.
what it's all about. I think that's what football for me is all about. And then there's a lad just walking by, and he came up in his jeans and his top, and he goes, well, if it wasn't for this, lads, I'd be at home on my own, sitting in front of a telly. And that's a side of it that it's appealing to everyone that get up and get out, and
100%.
there's other people there to support you, no matter what you're going through. I find it great. I tell you, it was a great idea, and the club do it brilliantly. Daisy does it brilliantly,
And they tick boxes in terms of when you think about health and well-being. What you're saying to these guys is you have somewhere to go that wants you. So belonging is in there. We're going to do warm-up every week, even though it's only walking football. Everyone slags us saying, is that the Father Ted episode?
Yeah.
They're allowed to run in the warm-up.
That's a good slag.
You have to give credit. No, exactly, but it's actually and then there's the game. So you're playing the game you love, and it still requires you to be able to pass and touch and control and move and score. And then all of them, in every interview we did with the lads after we had done 6 months of it, they said, going into the club house after, into the media room,
crack,
a cup of tea, a biscuit, and a chat.
Brilliant.
Go. So again, all them things, social isolation, not feeling part of a team, part of a group, new friend. Them guys weren't all friends.
And then that group then leads into one of the guys putting in, go for a walk, lads. Do you want to come for a walk?
Ah, beautiful.
You go. And listen, I have a thing that I do to the. And that goes from being someone, say, is isolated at home 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a family, wife, doesn't have this, could have been lost, could have moved out, could have been on their own, kids could be living away. Oh, hold on, I'm not on my own now.
Yeah, it's beautiful, yeah.
And that in itself is probably the best moment for me of what I get out of a community in a football team, is that it doesn't have to be for everyone, but it is for everyone. The doors are open for everyone.
And when the club then says, we're looking for volunteers for match night, there's guys saying, well, I feel part of this club. So I'm available. I'll do.
We done it for the Jack and McDonough charity match. The guys that were on the jersey, and they're getting that atmosphere then of the build up for the match and all. But the thing about Bray and the likes of themselves and the guys in behind, they make them feel part of it. They're not just left. They're not. They get
not a little sideline.
They're down there and they're chatting. They're like, it's not like some teams you go to about the first team. That's it. That's not. Everyone counts.
Yeah, and they've hosted it's mad. We always have a joke around. The walking footballers are probably the most likely to play in Europe of all of our squads The lads are
great.
We've got invitations to over to Sociedad, to Bilbao. There's tournaments in New York.
You said that Salford. I
didn't Salford City over for a friendly.
No way.
And they were blown away with the reception.
The hospitality,
yeah.
You know, and the lads were again like, because we might not win every game, we might not come home with trophies from blitzes. But what's in our control is how we host and how we, carry ourselves as a club, and in particular as a walking football team. And so the lads just love opportunities then to show how our club does hospitality.
That's great, the whole thing, isn't
it?
Yeah. Is there leagues or it's a blitz tournament?
It's growing now. So the FAI took ownership of a blitz, like held their first blitz only last month.
What's a blitz? Like a short round robin sort of
all
tournament?
Day tournament.
There's thousands and thousands that do this in England, and they've been so
across Europe.
No wonder the FAI are getting involved, because they can see how big this could grow.
So they
well, you see, paddle's turned into a walking tennis game nearly. So like, think of the amount of footballers. Like,
also, that's coming soon. So hold your breath there. That's going to be approaching us soon to the car.
Oh, is it? But I wasn't saying it's bad. I'm saying I'm playing it because
it's supposed to be amazing.
It's great. You're sweating, but you're not really sprinting.
Yeah.
So the same with walking football. You have to be switched on. It's like a game of chess.
It's a community thing that's grown out of nowhere. Supposedly it's brilliant up in the Cluny Castle. The lads ring me about it. I've never played it, but
also playing up in Fitzpatrick.
I've played up in Spain, like my
and I think that's where it all originates from, isn't it? From
Daisy, you went to Real Sociedad with the walking football, didn't you? And you said like it was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, to show it even the European level and the benefit of having something like that. I went on a study visit with the FAI as part of football and social responsibility of our professional development. And they in Real Sociedad, they do it on the clubs, in the club's training facility, 7 pitches, high end. I was trying to bump into Kieran Tierney when I was over there. They get their spot. There's 50 people the same day as us, every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. 50 people turn up for walking football with Sociedad. And I went in, I have a bit of Spanish, so I'm saying, hello, what's the story, how are you getting on? And then it transpires that there's a guy, I played with John Aldridge. So they've got two. There's a guy who's the all-time appearance record for Sociedad, 499. He said John Toshak wouldn't bring him on for the 500th game. Left him on the bench, and he has 499 games for Sociedad. He plays walking football every Tuesday morning. With the
lads love that as well, looking at him playing.
Nice. But my dad are like, I'm not going to say he's an owl lad, but like, you have injuries and you have reasons to not, because he used to play five-a-side up in. He played a good bit, yeah. And then he started playing football in Irishtown a couple of years ago with kind of younger lads, and then the kind of competitive edge would come back, and he'd be like, it's great. And then suddenly he's getting a knee job or a hip because he went too much at it. So for someone like him, he'd love it. Like, you have that edge, you still have that touch, and then the crack after, the pint or a cup of tea after, great. Yeah. No,
and it's brilliant. And like it really is. You can see the fun with someone that they feel like they're back 19 again with the ball in front, and they're kicking and running along.
There's no better feeling,
you know yourself, and even when I go and play, like meet up with the lads and you do like a charity match or a masters match or whatever, the banter just it's like you're back in that dressing room again. And that's the one thing that any footballer will always miss, is the dressing room. You get over not being able to play again because y'all get old, but that dressing room kiddish mentality comes back for 2 hours, and you're back in school, and every personal problem you have in your life goes out that window.
I was playing in a charity match when Petrov and stuff was over in Bray. And I was a bit worse for wear. I got asked like that morning. I was gigging. I was in Coppers. And then whoever, do you want to play? No problem. I woke up. I got to Bray like early. I was like in the car with a Barocca. I was like, oh no. Anyway, I get put on the Legends team for some mad reason. And it's just, I'm sitting there hanging to death trying to get my parents sweating. Like, and I said, Petrov is just in the Jackson on the toilet in the Bray dressing room. It's a bit open. Just doing volleys against the wall. Or you've got Andy Townsend, I think, or something Townsend played left back for Liverpool. You've got a couple of and I'm watching them, and it's like they're all back. They all may as well be back in their own dressing rooms doing the same routines and all that. It's brilliant.
They never leave around the likes all them games, those Masters games. You're looking at them going, they still have it. They still have a bit about them. Lee Sharp comes over there in Dublin. There's
a different level to me thinking I'm good at football, and then to lads like that. Even now, how they hit a ball. There's like a slap of a ball that, like, I was just warming up with them.
Of it,
everything, they're just chatting while they're like launching the ball at your foot, and you're like, jeez, here we go.
They never, as you say, it's like they're like snooker players. They never lose that. You can see what's happening in front of them develop. You just can't react that quick enough anymore. It's brilliant. It's great to watch them. And I think, do you know what I'd love to see more of is those big clubs coming over from England playing those when we were kids, looking at those pre-season games and all. I know it's hard with the different leagues, but get those clubs back over, get the kids down to watch, and you'll see now there'll be more kids with Bray jerseys on them rather than United jerseys. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the fuss over your own hometown club rather than the English club, and it'd be great to see.
You've put a lot of great work into doing up, we say, Bray with the bar, with painting the murals at the front. And I was at the UCD with yourselves and stuff the first leg. It was a great atmosphere. There seems to be a real good surge behind the club, and I feel like maybe is it because the team's so young as well. It seems to be quite a young team. Their families are there creating atmosphere.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ingredients, and I think it's great even that, for you, Adam, as someone who isn't there necessarily every week, whatever, that you felt that and you noticed that. So that tells us something that we want to hear, because there's work going in the background to build that. Like, you could say we're building a brand, but we're building a community as well, and we want people to feel connected to our club. And I think there's lots of different ways to do that. And I actually think a good mural is an invitation to come into a football club. A bar, which is also like a fan zone, might be a reason why someone will come down. And then they'll feel connected and feel part of something. Good food on match night is a reason why people will come down. They'll decide, I'll get me dinner down at the match.
Beforehand, you used to be getting, remember years ago, you used to be getting a punnet of spuds and it wouldn't be cooked. Or you'd have the bottle going around. Now it's like gourmet stuff down the Carlisle. And I think you're dead right. Young kids are now gathering down there. Adults are coming down and they're getting and I think they're bringing their kids down. They're having that bonding time, getting out of home. Big time. It takes them away from the computers, the iPads and all this.
And we're big on mascots. We're big on, like, no one's ever refused an opportunity to come down, hold hands with the players coming out, come on at halftime, take shots on Rocky, and take penalties on Rocky at halftime. So
even for businesses as well, trying to get them, even if I've dealt with so many business people going, we want to get involved, but they're trying to think of ideas. And one of the guys, I think, was up in Vodafone. He goes, "Do you know what? I'm actually going to have my Christmas party down there.
Brilliant.
We're all football fans. Can we use the pitch?" I said, "Yeah, use the pitch and then have your party." So there's something for everyone to bring in businesses
100%.
and thinking outside the box.
100%.
Because I think the journey in. So we ultimately want bums on seats on match night, and that's the success criteria. Is that's the ultimate, but. When we're sitting down, all of the relevant people in the club to say, well, what's the journey into that? It's not just promoting match night. It's about it's us being in schools, it's us being out in the community. It's the type of social media that we do, the partners that we have in the business world, the events that we run outside of the football domain. All of those are like, we will have at the end of this week on Friday. There's a group coming over from Würzburg who are twinned with Bray in the Bray Council sense. But we're saying, well, let's bring them down to the Carlisle for a visit, so that then we get to show here's our, and there's I'm sure.
What do you mean twinned with them?
So the way town twinning. So most towns would have a twin town. So there's a
signs when you go and drive into different towns and all twins with.
Dublin, California, and Würzburg are the two towns that Bray are twinned with, and it means that there's a relationship between the districts, the councils, but then it's also a cultural connection. It's also a business connection, and we're saying, well, it can also be a sporting connection. That if they're coming to visit Bray and they're going to visit businesses and the landmarks and see the landscape and the count, they should also be coming to the Carlisle grounds and saying, this is also a big part of who we are as a town. And there's opportunities that from that we hope will spring in terms of future.
Brilliant. And you said California as well?
Dublin, California.
So when are we going?
So next podcast is coming from Santa Monica.
without shades on. I love this. What you're doing with Bray. We're on a scouting mission.
But even like you think about what Bray, like look at the history of Bray. There's so much going on outside of football, music, Katie Taylor, Sinead O'Connor, like great music, great bands, great food, great people. Get them apart, get them out to Carlisle. That's your local team. Support that. And is
that what, to touch on that point? Is that why you start in the schools? What sort of work would you do in the schools?
So again, strategically, we want to grow a fan base. So you could do, again, I'm sure everyone out there knows that you can dazzle an incentive to get people down to the next game. And that might work, it might not work. But what we're trying to do is build a fan base. Nice. And very strategically, we're targeting families and children, because we reckon that if we capture their attention at 12, 11, 13, then they'll grow into loyal fans, and they'll be the ones making the songs, making the banners, singing at every game, whether we win, lose or draw. Again, the way of doing that, we have the schools program, which is a 4-week program, and again, we developed it so that we can go into the classroom for 3 sessions and do activities talking about weaving in literacy and numeracy, but talking about football. Brilliant. So we're talking about giving them.
That's one class I wouldn't have ditched.
It's brilliant. Even watching, even taking a step back and watching the class, even the likes of asking them, well, we want to see your thoughts. How much would you think it would cost to run a club? Ask them about certain things that actually mean something, not just like the players. So how many volunteers? What do you think the bus costs? What do you think the jerseys cost? What do you think the lady down there's cost? How much do you think there is to do the pitch? And they're, we've never been asked. And you can see them all like writing down, really enthusiastic, and then going, well, let's build your football side. So they're getting both sides of everything, and they're getting a feel for it. I think it's brilliant.
And that they understand that there's more to a football club than
the result. There's a whole thing behind it.
That there's people like us. There's our general manager, there's head football. There's like if our guy who manages the pitch is one of the most important people in Bray Wanderers, but that's a talent that is very unique. So if there's a horticulturist in the classroom who's wondering,
I think the one at Arsenal is Irish as well. I think the guy who does the Emirates is Irish.
Brilliant,
So there's jobs and roles and opportunity. We do photography with them, sports photography as one of the sessions, and we go out into the yard and
take pictures of
bring the shades on. And
wow, listen, I'm just standing on the left hand side, like Zoolander. I don't turn right. But you see them, like, because again, not everyone wants to play football, but there's a lad, they're there with the lenses, they're going, do it again, action shot, boom. But it means that there's like in a classroom, say, of 20 people, there isn't 5 lads just sitting on the bench going, where's this over? They're included. They're like, well, this is more me, boom. And everybody's in it. So, and there's that feel of unity.
Yeah. And even doing the stuff that you guys do, we're doing practicing interviews.
Yeah.
If you pitch side interviews, getting the mic out, and we bring the photos back in the following week and give feedback on why have we got 90% Sky.
Some of them look like you with the Barnett and all that.
Lucky
not as good looking as you are. Not as good looking as that.
But for us, all of that, and then the final session of the 4 is come down to the Carlisle. We bring this class down, we do a tour of the ground, tell them all the moving parts, and then we get a game of ball.
Like under 8s again, they're all running after one football.
Great.
Brilliant.
And you get them playing on the pitch and everything.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I just think they love it. They love it.
I could only imagine that. I went to Clonkeen.
You feel part of it. Like,
and you'd want more of that. Especially ex-players coming in and stuff.
I must admit, I get a great... And they're interested. You can know by their eyes when you're looking at them. They really want to know. They're like, oh, gee, I didn't know that. And you had to do that? You had to scrub someone's boots with a toothbrush? Yeah. Also, you wouldn't do it now. You'd be locked up.
Whose boots did you scrub up?
I was Matt Jansen. I was Nathan Blake. And
was Shearer and stuff there at the time?
When I was signed, Sutton was still there. What a character!
Yeah.
I remember the first door I walked in. Fucking lashing, you're Irish, kicking balls at you. I remember walking into the canteen at lunchtime, and you're there, and there was a pool table down the old Brockhall village. It was Blackburn, old Brockhall, and Billy McKinley was playing Chris Sutton, playing pool, and they were playing each other for like $2,000 a ball, and I was like, "What's going on? Yeah, this is great." But then it was just, but now that would be, they were around, then the academy got built. But being around the first team players now, it was just, you're like, but we had to do the
You know, it was all that culture of kind of banter with the youth team, and by banter I mean like you probably get a bit bullied and stuff. But there's a weird thing. I was going to say, what's your opinion on that?
I think that's, and from being totally honest, I think that's the problem of the generation, is that they've lost all aspect of having to work. I know that's hard to say about all of them, but the value of something, of being, it wasn't, but it was just part and parcel of growing up. Sitting there, like if you were to write a book on when you went through, you'd be locked up. But it wasn't. You didn't see it that way. You just thought this is the norm, and it actually toughened you up, like, you know. But then it was never one. They come in behind the scenes. It was only joking there, you know what I mean? It was only messing. But we used to get stripped down to the bare minimum and told to run through the town and thrown out of the car, stand up singing songs. But it made it, like, you know what I mean? It was brilliant. Yeah. It was brilliant. I think a tough job. I must admit, I never had a problem with that.
Yeah. Obviously, some people would have, and that's some people now. I
think that's why it's gone. But I think it made them work harder. They learned the morals, the values, and everything. Obviously,
and is there a route? Like, it sounds to me like you can differentiate between a rooted connection,
100%.
Which is,
I think now
whatever happens at the surface level, messing and you do that, but that there's a rooted connection. It's a rooted connection valuable,
and it's not
teammate.
It's
not just bullying. There's a reason behind all this.
This sport is hard. It's hard to make it to the top. It's hard to stay there, but it will ground you. And I think it only happened because you were so young going over. You were missing out on your adult years of being around schooling. It was their way of bringing you up in the real world, and you could see that when they then get to the top, they valued it. They had a value of it. I think now sometimes when you're looking at young guys, our kids happy to sit on the bench and just earn their money. They don't want to play. Did they go through that thing of having to scrub those boots, scrub the tiles in the change room? They didn't. You know, all our generation went through that, and. Even asking them, some of them, we have a 20-year Blackburn, 25-year Blackburn Rovers unit, and every year he goes, well, sure, but I never knew that would hold me in good stead for my job.
The reference points,
the reference points now. I took the value of what I went through there into my work life now that has nothing to do with football, and it's even into my family life, and it's made me a better person.
Do your kids scrub your boots now? You don't even play.
Yeah, well, listen, the last time I had to go and buy my boots back off eBay. I sold them
to me.
There's a bit more.
In there,
scrubbing, good for your son.
Scrubbing them with their own toothbrush.
It'd be good for you. Yeah. But no, it's great. It's great to get an insight into Bray, into everything you're doing. What would be, just to wrap up, I suppose, what would be like a great vision you have of Bray in the next 5-10 years, we say, whatever that may be?
Yeah, for me, there's I would see two big elements in my vision for the future: that we become rooted in the community and seen as a valuable asset across the community, whether it's Down syndrome football, whether it's school programs, whether it's climate action, whether it's walking football, that we have a place in the, as I was saying earlier, the ecosystem of social change in community. And then parallel to that, I would really love us to see the ground developing in that momentum that has already begun, that we have good stands, that we have good facilities. I think the when I think about the future of Bray in terms of how the Carlisle grounds can be an asset to the town, it can be an asset in the football sense, but I see well-being hubs in the Carlisle grounds. I see rooms where community can come and be on site, top quality changing rooms, top quality facilities. It's a unique place, a unique location, and I think it's, to maximize its potential requires partners, requires investment. Robbie does a lot of that work in the corporate world, which is a big part of the future of Bray Wanderers. It can't just be sitting in community; it has to sit equally in corporate alongside the football stuff. But I really believe the momentum is good, the vibe is good, and we just have to keep convincing people that we're worth investing in, we're worth partnering with, we're worth collaborating with. And I think if that's sincere and authentic, then we will achieve our goals.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I think there's nail ahead in every aspect. Yeah, I think absolutely. All those collective figures, like every single group, the Walk of Football, the Down Syndrome group, anything that they all come together. There's a place for them. I do think the ground, if we can see it over the years since I've been a young kid, hasn't really been developed. If that can develop into something like a community, that the community can benefit.
Yeah,
I think then they'll invest in it. If then the community can invest in coming down to the games for such a big town, I think there could be a lot more presence, a lot more support. Not only you want people to come down and get support just because they have to, because they want to, because they feel safe, they feel like it's a great environment to do it, they feel like they're getting something out of it. And then if you can give that back into the likes of the skill things, I must admit, I love that. And then also top flight football, like, let's be honest, the team are doing great at the moment. 3 games to go. Is there 2 games to go? Anybody says you want the likes of Bohemians, Pats, Rovers coming to the grounds, and it will give a massive boost, and then that would also give a massive boost into the business side of it. You do need investment. You need businesses to get involved, but you want all businesses to be a local environment, and then that drives the whole thing. Yeah. And there's such a ground with the dart line. I love to see concerts, which will be coming, everything down the line, biggest stuff, activities outside of football. And no matter what, I think it's going in the right direction, and onwards and upwards, I think.
And when's the final of the playoffs?
They have Saturday against Athlone in Dalymount at 4:00.
And then you go and play
Drogheda. We were actually debating this in the car because Drogheda are in the cup final.
Or when?
So
I don't compare.
Drogheda, but that's what I'm saying. You have to
game by game,
go and do it, But Drogheda are playing in the cup final on the 10th, so we don't know whether it would be before. It would be before or after, because the match is this Saturday against Athlone in Dalymount. So I don't know whether they would play it on the Wednesday and then 4 days or play it after. I don't know, but we'll see.
Game by game, as they say.
Yeah. Game by game, and then I'm sure you have to get you back down now, get you onto the pitch.
I'm dying to.
He's dying to play
a good solid 10 minutes off me.
Just don't play against Daisy and hack you all over the place. Chop you up, you will.
The chopper.
Walking.
You
can't get that much damage when
I'm walking now ever since he kicked me. I won't be able to run.
Well, lads, thanks so much for coming down and spending time with us, and it's been great to
put
hear
you guys a match hero. Fair play to you, massive support, and the place looks great here. So, looking forward to a long relationship.